Hello, friends.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to our April check-in.
Yes, here we are.
We are.
We like to do check-ins.
Yeah.
We do it once a month, but honestly, we like to do it more than that.
We do. So thank you for being here. If you are new here, and there are a few new people, welcome. We're glad you're here. We do this once a month, the check-in, where we just kind of check in with each other about how we're doing, like what's going well, what's hard, how our self-care is going, stuff like that. So,
and we like to do this we like to do this just naturally, like I said, but also we want to encourage you to do this also in your own life. This is great processing. This is good. Like, it's a little therapy session that you can do
for sure
on your own or with us in our Patreon group, or with your, in real life friends too. Get the conversation started and see where it goes.
Yes.
It's good connection.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's just nice to check in like more personally and see really how are things going.
Really. Yeah,
and because we're on Patreon, I don't know, we feel like we can get a little bit more personal. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
And we're recording a little bit earlier this time. We usually like to do these check-ins very close to when we air them because we want it to be relevant
timely
to what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But
so we're just a little bit early because I'm going on vacation.
Yeah.
Which is kind of my big news.
This is your check-in. Kind of.
It's my big news. Should I just start with that?
I think you should.
All right. So our family is going on a spring break, which, okay, I kind of need to process this because the concept of spring break is, just going way back, one that I did not grow up with.
Right.
Did you guys have a spring break?
No way.
Yeah.
In our small town, no.
No, I think in Minnesota, small towns, they just didn't do that.
No.
Which now I look back and I'm like, did I get any breaks? Like what? Why didn't we have a break?
I know.
You need a break. So the concept of spring break to me was just like this thing that fancy city rich people did.
Yes. Big city folk.
The city people. Yeah. So now, and then when I, became an adult and had kids and stuff, like we always homeschooled. And so we didn't need a spring break because we could take breaks and trips whenever we wanted. So
exactly.
We traveled a lot, but it was not like at spring break time necessarily. And so,
so this concept is completely new to you.
This is totally new. This is totally new. And then we had the pandemic and now my kids are in school. And so we're going on a spring break because all three of my kids have the same week off. And I'm like, they're getting older. We got to do this.
Yes.
And my kids are like, why have we never done spring break before? Mm-hmm. And I said, well,
because we did all year.
Yeah. Like we didn't need it. Yeah. I don't know. So
yeah.
I'm curious. I'm curious how many homeschoolers do spring breaks.
I know. Well, and sometimes it does make sense, especially maybe if you're homeschooling, you have one kid in school and they have the week off at a certain time, or maybe for jobs too. It works best to just have I don't know. But also it was really nice. That's one thing I loved about homeschooling.
Yeah, right.
Is that we could go when it wasn't busy. Anywhere. Right. And I love that so much. But
I know. Yeah, my kids are excited about spring break, but I'm like, it's exciting, but remember when we could do what we wanted all the time?
Yeah.
Remember that?
We could go everywhere in the off season. That was my favorite.
Yeah. So we're going to Florida.
Wow.
And I know it's a big deal. I have a couple siblings who live in Florida, so we want to visit them. Mm-hmm. But also we're doing, Orlando.
Oh gosh,
we're doing that. We're doing the theme parks.
Way to go.
And this is something I just never have wanted to do.
I've never thought of you being a person. I never thought you'd go do this.
No, I know. And I know some of you are super into theme parks, and I know people in real life who are, and that's awesome. I think, actually, you know what I think it was for me is I'm not super into Disney.
Yeah.
Like Mickey Mouse. And so that's what I picture. Okay. When I'm like, do I want to go to Florida to do theme parks? I'm like, well, I'm not really into Disney. And so I've just kind of dismissed the whole thing. To hear the rest of this episode, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. You'll unlock access to this episode and the rest of our Patreon episode archive.